Good morning, good morning. Who do we got in here this morning? Who do we got in here real quick before I even share this damn link? We got Purple Mango, we got Tobias, we got Alexis, and we got Susan. Shout out to you guys. All right, now I'm going to share the stream link around. But thank you guys. I always appreciate seeing that. Good morning, Letterbuck. Good to see you. Good morning, Garden Trader. Great to see you. Sorry, I'm sharing the stream link around. Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Garden in the Discord as well. Good morning, King Carnage. Always a good time to see you. Is this going to be the dip that keeps on dipping or all-time highs today? Asking for a friend. Well, I mean, I can give you a quick rundown. I don't know why I'm on SPX. We'll go back to that here in a second, I guess, though. I did kind of want to scalp that today. So the big thing with me on this, like, pullback from all-time high conversation is everybody keeps saying it. They said that this time. They said that during this. They said that during this. And do you know what happened every time we have these conversations? The market just kept bouncing. So there's really no point in even bringing up that conversation, in my opinion. I understand you're trying to do like forward thinking and going, let me try to catch it around here. I don't see the point of that. I really don't. I see this as the market saw the interest rate news as well as the news that could impact that or inflation, and it didn't really surprise anybody. As I said before, we probably will keep going up, but we're going to have these instances where we get dips because of the news coming out and us seeing the result of, oh, okay, yeah, what we expected is happening. So that's kind of what we're going to be getting over and over again until we see something surprising. Something surprising would bring a shock surprise to the market in terms of a move. It'd be a really big move up, really big move down. These little quick moves down really aren't doing much, though. Now, I will say, though, today we are starting a lot lower. So today we're probably not even going to use most of these levels. I'm probably going to make it easy on myself and just grab the gap fib for SPY and SPX. Does anybody in here not know how to do that before the market opens? Triple QIWM. Well, I guess we can delete all these cute little arrows. They don't really matter right now, because we're not even near here. Today, we're going to be starting way the fuck down here. Yeah, look. We're like right here somewhere. We're right here. That's how far we are. Oh. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just go to the gap fib chart, guys. We'll make this real easy on ourselves. Grab your this tool, right click. Why isn't it? There we go. And then click the percentage looking thing, Fibonacci retracement. And you're going to go from your previous day close, it's this green candle here, down to your today's open. So, because we already know the gap down occurred, I also like to go back and see, are there any halfway points I can add? Like right here. There's probably one 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 like right here. So we're going to go and add those in. Now, I'm not just throwing those up. I just wanted to show you what we're doing. But now I want to get a couple of those because outside of just these, and I'm going to be a little lazy with them. I'm not going to go and exactly change them to the exact same scent. What this is good for is outside targets outside of the already very obvious dotted lines here that we have. 633.74 is our first target of the day. That's crazy to me. So I want to go in here and add some other levels, because that's basically saying we have a $4 drop after what we've already seen. So I want to go in here and add this. And yes, I do have the chain up, so if I see anything we're entering or I'm calling out, I'll post the quotes. Let's see, is there any more I need to add? That kind of gets us there. Alright, so does that make sense what I did just there? I don't want that to be like weird to anybody. It's really easy, actually. All I'm really doing is just adding halfway points because we don't have anything else. Besides emerging candles and all that, but I just don't feel like going and adding all that. This makes it a lot more simple. I don't have as many levels on my screen. And I'm essentially getting the same levels. I'm just finding the most important ones. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I'm trying to make it to where we at least have something above us and a couple levels below us. And I'm trying to get some context on your left side screen here, but I can't. we got down so low, I can't. So right now, bearish, pretty obvious. But we'll see, does it continue? What is the strength it gathers? I like to have this like strength meter in my head. You know, here's like level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1's it getting down and just breaking this level and getting down to that first dotted line. Second would be making it to the second dotted line. Third, which would be crazy on a day like today because the size of this gap means this target's even further. That third dotted line, 626, that's $10 from here. So that would be a little nutty. But keeping it in the back of our mind just in case we do head that way. Good morning, good morning. Good to see you, Dr. J. If you guys can, be sure to drop a like on the stream or video, whatever the hell we're calling this, and share it around if you can. Yeah, market's taking a pullback today from what we're seeing. Looks like we do have a couple things of green here popping up, though. I'd like to just see what's up. Looks like one of them's ExxonMobil, one of them's Walmart, which a staple could be seen as that. Also another staple here, so not the most surprising ones to see, just slightly green, but yeah. Big initial pullback. And we say initial pullback because we don't know. We could hold here and bounce and be at yesterday's close by the end of today. Who really knows? Also, this is a really good time now that we've done, or hold up, let's go get SPX and Triple Q and IWM ready. No, let's delete that. I'm pretty sure those are emerging candles. That one candle's through like 8 of them. Alright, so they've already made it to the first target on SPX. I also like to just check SPX even if I'm not personally trading this chart. Because let's say I'm trading SPY, it is kind of nice to know, okay, volatility has made it down to the first Fibonacci target. Which is very, very important. Again, kind of mentioning back to that strength meter. We might leave the levels on for IWM. No, we're not. We're going to put that on there. Triple Q, what we got here? Delete all that crap. Whoops. There we go. I almost grabbed the wrong level. That looked weird for a second. Okay, so everybody should have these on their screens. These levels. Now, the big thing here, if you're not in a trade already or something right here at the open, which most of you shouldn't be after a long weekend, is kind of just looking for direction or consolidation now around this level, because this is the most important level right now, is today's open, right? This is a target of us going down today, right? This isn't if we hold this or if we break this kind of level to talk about. No, that's literally just a target. Now we're going to see what can happen around this level. Can we hold it? Can we continue under it? What's going to go on? And then that'll get us short-term direction. And then from there, we can take advantage. Because this would be a good first initial hit. I wouldn't say target for these bulls trying to hold this short-term. It could even be seen as a good bearish reaction, like letting the buyers get into the chart a little bit and then rejecting it right here. This could be seen as a good risk-reward area for bears. So I'd also like to keep that on everyone's mind, that if we do happen to go up here short term, there is another scenario that could get rejected. Also, if we see the same price action that's holding this, hold this area, then we probably will make it towards previous day close by end of day, which is, again, like I said earlier, kind of insane that we're even talking about that. Because again, like on this chart, 570 from 561, and you can see the template's the exact same. It doesn't matter what chart I'm on. The template is the same. I maybe added a little bit more here on SPY so we could have some more, but that's just because I like SPY. But I hope that makes sense how I prepared some of these charts really quickly, because this is really how you should be drawing a lot of this stuff. And it seems like, oh, that seems really easy. That seems super basic. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to clear your thoughts on, oh, I don't need to be looking at this right now. The market's kind of just doing its thing. It's got a big move in the market. Let me not react or overreact. Let me chill. Let me just draw this simple fib retracement tool, and that's it. Less thinking. We popped from the levels here back in August, or SPY, observing day for me. I fibbed the previous monthly candle on SPY. What is the previous monthly's halfway point? What is the 50% of that previous month? Because that month had to have been pretty weird, just because it did have that initial slowdown, then the pull up, then it had a little slowdown again, then it pulled up again. But yeah, it's essentially our Monday. It's Tuesday, but it's essentially our Monday of the week. So I would definitely say here at the open, definitely need to just be observing what the hell's going on. And then in a couple minutes, I'll cover it, but I'd like to cover the daily time frames as well. These kinds of days are honestly the best days to start, like, fixing up, okay, how am I thinking about this? You know, getting your chart prepared, getting your mindset prepared. If it does this around here, I'm going to continue being bullish. If it does this around here, I'm going to continue being bear. You know, kind of giving yourself that plan before the charts really started moving. Plus, now that we've gotten this pretty nice sized over weekend move, I should say, it's also good to kind of check out the macro side of things, the big point of the big picture. So it's good to go to that daily or weekly or monthly, whatever people in here like to look at. I personally like to look at the daily and weekly, but everyone in here is different. But yeah, let me know what that level is if you happen to get it. But guys, don't forget to like the stream and share the stream link around if you haven't already. If you guys have any questions or comments about anything we're doing in here, or drawing or charting or whatever the hell we're talking about, feel free to ask. All right. Let's check Discord. I'm sure the chaos is crazy. Lucid got a reverse split LCID. I didn't realize Lucid was still on the market. It's 18 a share. Throwing a like on stream and dipping out. Have a good day, gang. You too, Robert. Thanks for dipping in. I hope your day's not too crazy. Looks like the start of everyone's is going to be a little wild. Oh my god, look at coin. By the way, I'm still looking to buy the dip on this. The fact we didn't break that support, even after all this junk in the market. Pretty excited about this one. We'll see, though, because if that support breaks, we're kind of fucked. It's funny, too, because we opened a lot lower than I thought we would on some of these charts. This one, not that bad. Why am I... Oh, because we're on the max daily. Netflix is another good one that I can't stop thinking about. It keeps doing this, let me dip, fake low, repeat, back up. It does this whole liquidity grab thing. Like, here's that fresh low. It broke. Next day, higher open, retake. It's like, what? And all you had to do was watch this day's halfway point, whatever the hell that is. It's probably around here somewhere. And then watch that area as a whole, and that could have been a good dip buy. It's kind of doing the same thing here. Except this day's halfway point's way the fuck up here. So it's kind of like, it's got a little bit more work to do than over here in this left side picture, but I'm keeping my eye on it because it kind of did the same thing. It had 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. Then that was really where it started playing. So I would like to look at Netflix and Coin for short-term upside if possible. If those bases break, they're going to be setups that we just flip on their heads and we start shorting. But that might not be a decision you make right then and there. That might be a day later. Who knows? Or maybe you just wait and you short the next day. Might not also just flip the trade, but the mindset will definitely be flipped. And then Meta. I was trying to find which setup. I knew it was a tech stock. Meta. I would like to look at Meta because this is a pretty interesting area we talked about pretty heavily the past 2 weeks for this stock. And now it's back down to it trying to hold this area. So I would like to see, not really around today's open, but around this area, multiple days of price action hold this. So not just today, but this week, I would like to see action above 720 is basically what I'm looking at, with the intention of 740 being a potential short-term ceiling. So $20 short-term range for the week. But yeah, we'll go back to SPY and all that other junk. Loving MetaFam was just charting it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was charting a lot last night. I've got half of these charts memorized, and then a lot of our like daily setups and best shit ever watch list. I have a lot of that more in my head now. Good morning, by the way, again. Be sure to drop a like on the stream, share the stream link around. If you guys are looking at anything in particular, let me know. Or was there anything you guys were stuck in from the weekend? I hope not, just because I don't think most of my chat would do that, just because, again, it was a pretty long weekend. I had almost forgotten about it until like a week or so ago. And then I think it was Sandollar brought it up, and I was like, oh my god, we do have a Monday off. Which, in my head, my brain goes straight to, okay, well, we can't trade on Friday because our funds won't settle on Monday or Tuesday, I guess I should say. But yeah, I hate that. If you trade the day before that holiday hits, most brokerages don't let your funds settle until that next day, which in our case would be Tuesday. So it'd be like a 4 or 5 day weekend for your money, but it'd only be like 3 or 4 days for you. And yeah, Alexis, if you see any other tickers, let me know what you like. I guess I should share the moving the market messages so people aren't freaking out. So I'll just read it out loud. Wall Street came back from a long weekend to renewed worry over. I thought that said a different word. I'm glad it didn't. Over frothy. That's what it says. Over frothy tech stocks and stretched government budgets. Global bonds stage a broad retreat. Gold briefly touched an all-time high. And then a quick little message here that says U.S. pulls TSMC's waiver for China shipments of chip supply. I thought that was going to say of China supplies. Like what? Of chip supplies. So very important semiconductor news. And then it says TSMC says we have received notification from the U.S. government that the VEU authorization from TSMC will be revoked effective December 31st. So now everything that I just told you guys has been thrown out the window. Now we're going to be waiting till the end of this year, basically, to see if anything changes this. So now we're in the, oh shit, we're in the hot seat. Anything changes on this, and that could be your dip buys. So we'll have to see. But that's very interesting. TSMC, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, is very important. Which I don't think I have to explain that to most of you unless you've been living under a rock. Let's see if there's anything else I can read. I think that was it, though. That was the bulk of the meat here today. Uh, Currently, all the magnificent names trade at least 1% lower in the pre-market. Tariff uncertainty is providing additional headwind after a surge in the market rates following Friday's ruling that the majority of Presidential Trump's global tariffs are illegal. I have two websites reading me two different vibes. That's why I read both. I feel like there's like a Republican that runs this site, and I think there's like a Democrat group that runs this site because they read like two different vibes. One's like, "Yo, this is what's happening," and then the other one's like, "Yo, this is what's happening," and fuck this guy. Like, there's like a little bit of bias in there. One of them feels like written like by AI, and the other one feels written by like people. I could be completely wrong, but that's why I read both, to kind of like throw the information at each other and see, okay, what are the similarities and what are the differences that I'm getting here? Because I trust both sources. Briefing.com is really good. That's the one that has the bias, though. That's the funny part. And then the other one is financialjuice.com. You should definitely check those out for just free news, really. I repost it to my chat every week because I just find it super important, super easy to read. But yeah, this first one doesn't read anything like that. It talks about the market and then the opposite market, gold, that gets the reaction off of this. And then the other one's like, fuck this guy. Good morning, Carter. Good to see you, man. We're just discussing the news of the market. If anybody has any counterpoints or anything else to add on to that, feel free to. I'm not here to just tout off everything I think. If you guys have something to say, feel free to. I think I read literally every message. I'm one of those YouTubers that will actually go to your comments and reply to them. I get some really, really weird comments from you guys sometimes, though. Some of you are trolling. But it's all good fun. So yeah, so we should just keep getting dips, is what I'm reading. Until something changes. I'm not really seeing anything else. And then, like I was saying earlier, I think this is a really important day for a lot of you guys to go to that daily time frame and just remind yourself, all right, what the hell are we around? Because I think it's really easy to lose yourself in this chart because of this dip. But I promise you, if you're one of these people who were caught in this dip, you remember the grind up. If you're part of this short term, see, this is like a more healthy pullback. This is a surprising pullback. Like, oh shit, something happened. That's kind of what we got today. So that's why a lot of people are probably salty on the whole pullback thing. But you got to remember, though, we're still holding the halfway point of this. I kept this marked. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. But if you go from this day's gap up from here to here, yeah, that's about what that is. So it's trying to hold the halfway point of a gap up, of a bullish kicker gap up. So I don't know. This could be where it's trying to hold. Who knows? But I just wanted to remind everybody to go to that daily because it's so easy to lose yourself in that initial drop. You're like, oh, I'll just short and I'll be rich in a day or two. You might. Who knows? Let's see where we're holding first. So that's the only thing that I don't like, because you can see that too when you zoom out. And it's around that level, but I'll show you the exact level. It's 636. I think it's actually a little higher than that, but it's around 636.67. I think it's like 68 or 69 cents. So I mean, I think a second death drop can happen today under this level. Not a good sign that it's not breaking it right here, right now, even though we got the bearish momentum to do it. So we'll see if we get some short-term buy. Maybe I will just leave this chart up. It does have some pretty important, relevant, short-term info from recent. Good context. Who doesn't like context, What's the point of watching a murder mystery if there's no context, I'm entering light puts on Oxy just to see if they continue with a pullback here. Okay. Glad you said Oxy. I was like, SPY. Yeah, I haven't really been watching Occidental Petroleum in a while. But yeah, so are we all good on this chart? Do we all understand what we're looking at here?
I deleted my arrows from the other chart, but we are kind of looking at this scenario here. If I was trying to dumb it down as much as possible, this is what this would look like. From right here, right now. Giving you a plan for right here, right now. I don't know about an hour or two from now. It might be different. We might have pumped or dumped by then. So, yeah, things will be different. I hate when people ask, or not ask me, but I've had people in the not in a while, but in the past, complain about that, and they'll be like, "Well, how come your plan was buy if it's above this, sell if it's below that?" They're asking me at like lunchtime. I'm like, "Well, my guy, we already moved from that. The plan already happened. It already did its thing, right? So if I'm returning to that level at like lunchtime, should my same game plan be buy this is with the same energy I had the first time I was doing this? No, now that I have the context that's already done this, it shouldn't have as much energy as it did the first time. Could I still buy the dip on that? Yes. Would I do it with intentions of holding all day long? Fuck no. Which I don't think I would in example one either, but... can somebody tell me what my sectors are doing? Has anybody got their sector watch list up? Maybe I should change this back to that. I don't really want to, because then I'll forget that this watch list was made. So we're just going to do this. Oh god, I gotta redo all that. What was it? Nope. It has to be called sectors, right? Nope. Here we go. Oh. Last net change, percent change. Last net change, percent change. Oh, you can save those templates now. I didn't know that you could do that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so close that. We'll keep that. Maybe we'll keep that open. This is a different watch list because this has all of them. Unless I added those at the end, but I don't remember. Now let me go post this in Discord because I haven't told them anything. 636.60s are very important. And then let's go out and zoom out and tell them why. Maybe I shouldn't just zoom in and do that. Yeah, we'll do that. And then hover over this candle and that candle. Write down the dates from 8/21 to 8/22. Very cool. It's funny how the levels lost. I always try to prepare everyone the night before or the day before. I'm pretty good about that, at least. And it's funny, like, it didn't even... I mean, I guess they matter right now, but they really don't. You know, last night, or the night before, you know, yesterday, sitting here thinking, like, all right, if it dips down to here, we could totally buy some dips and catch some moves up or something. Or oh, if we pop over 647s, you know, and here we are today at 637s. We're about $10 down from all those numbers. Oh, all right, let's see Discord. Trying to do my best job today at like updating everybody on what the hell, because it can definitely feel like that. Sorry, YouTube. Hold up 1 second. Make sure I get that all posted. 639.57. These are all just leftover from last week, so I'll have to look. I'm pretty sure this is the backwards fib, though. I think I'm right. Let's go see. So something I like to do whenever there's, like, we're an all-time high market Devontae. That's not really a good example to show here, but is I look for dips and then once we pulled the weight, like right here at this moment, at this day or this week, we were sitting here like, oh my god, all-time highs. Where could we go from here? You know, we're in that euphoric moment. So I like to look at like past weeks before that and just grab reverse fibs of them. So see how this, like this one right here, it dipped, then pulled back up, and then made more all-time highs. This wasn't it for the chart. So I'll go from that low to the high like that, and I'll just get that. And what that does with the fib retracement tool is it creates forward targets that I haven't actually seen get hit yet, you know? And a lot of the time it's very helpful. I did that, but on the daily for this chart. And I did this like a week or two ago on stream, and then I posted for the group. So it's just a repeat of that. And then I've just kind of been maintaining the levels since then. Some of these are just halfway points. Some of them are a close of a gap up. You know, it's like, that's it. Not that important. But this one I would say is probably one of the most important levels on this left side chart. This one. This is just basically a target of that level, though. It's just going up. If we bump our head against it, I won't be shocked. If we go further beyond it after some consolidation, I won't be shocked. Good question, though, because that's a pretty important level. But it was basically to help us get levels for all-time high. And it was helpful to a point, but then we started slowing down. Let's see if I can even show you that. Yeah, so I had it drawn for like these days here, right? I'm expecting this next week to go up, and if it does go up and makes new highs, where am I going from there? You know, anyone could sit here and say 650, 655, you know, no shit. Anybody could say that. You know, it's just a good psychological number, but I want to have something else on the screen that's like a good meat and bones. I can tell you why it's there, you know? So that's what these dotted lines are way up here. These are like forward targets for future all-time highs if we were to continue going up, which in this case, it doesn't look like we are. They did stop at 650, so anybody could have had that mark. Which I think in our case, these are two other fib extensions from like, if we broke this high, we go to here or something. Sometimes I do that too. Whoops, that's not right. Like from this level to that high. Which in that case, that did work. But yeah, I would honestly say this was a good sign for buyers. Like, honestly, all this price action was. This right here, this close under this level. See how we're like holding, consolidating, doing a great job. Single soldier pattern basically pops up. Then we're doing another alright day. I'm not going to say it's an amazing day. You know, not an amazing candle, but it's alright. And then we get this lower open, so initial momentum to downside on the day. That actually does break these lows, pulls up, and then closes back under where it was just trying to hold for more bulls to go up. So that on itself is already pretty interesting, outside of the obvious news and stuff in the market. I think that's a no-shit, no-brainer kind of thing. But that's why I still like to go back and look at the context of the price action, regardless of the news, because that's still very important. And even if you're someone who's still sitting here oblivious to the news, you could still make impactful moves in the market. You don't need to be sitting here staring at economists, you know, data all day. That's not really a necessary thing for you to create a strategy or to profit or anything, but you definitely add on to it though. But I like to do both. I like to understand, okay, what's the news in the market, and okay, what's the chart literally saying? Because as of right now, I think a lot of people are going to jump straight into the, oh, well, we're going to drop for the next 6 weeks kind of market. And we could definitely do that. But I would like to bring up the fact that we literally gapped down after all that important news straight to the one part of the chart that is kind of like the last leg of defense for me personally, right? If I see this continue to hold, I'm going to keep thinking we're going to keep going up this level here, because that's a pretty important halfway point. It's not just a halfway point. It's of a gap up, of a bullish kicker gap up from the last time we had a big pullback in the market. So I find this to be a very insane level to be testing after all of that big news. And vice versa. If I'm so bullish on this level, I don't know why that's doing that. Thank you, OHLC settings. But also, let's think from the opposite point of view. I don't want to sit here and just make a bunch of bulls out of everybody. Let's also create some blood here. So if I'm so bullish on this level, what am I going to be if this level breaks? And you answer me in the YouTube chat right now. What am I going to be at this level, at a level at which I am so bullish on, but if broken, what would I have to be? You know, you're just switching the psychology of things. There's no difference in how you would find a retest, what fib you would draw. None of that stuff changes. By the way, guys, during all this ranting, we have just been going up. Which I showed you the beginning of it, but nothing crazy yet. Pretty crazy bounce up here, though, in the beginning. Good bullish reaction after such a large dip, which, fair enough. I mean, we did dip almost $10, so I think they're allowed to have a good bullish reaction. And Dividend did something cool. He took a paper trade, call it open on Triple Q while watching the tech chart XLK to kind of help him find that short-term bounce. So that's pretty cool. He's using more than one chart. I find that to be helpful. If you're not zooming out on the daily on these kinds of days, or reviewing some of the context with yourself, or using multiple charts to help yourself find better, higher probability convergences, then I just don't see the point. Man, who keeps getting these Discord reward things? I have yet to do a single one of these. I'm curious to know what's on the other end of this, though. Do you get like a gift or something? Or a giveaway? Alright, so I would say, since this is the level that we said we want to be bullish on, and this is our today's open, I think it's fair enough to assume we can draw an area between today's open and that level. Also, it's probably smart that we should go make sure this level is exact, because I did say earlier it was off by a couple cents. So we're going to go from this day's close to this day's open. Was I off? It is. It's 1 cent off. How dare I? Wait, no, it's 10 cents off. Wait, am I tripping? Hold up. 61. I am tripping. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so as I was saying, from today's open to that level that we found, honestly, we've had that level for the past few weeks. I'm not even going to sit here and be like, we found that today. No, it's been on the screen for a while now. I'm just going to add to almost most of the month. So as of right now, it looks like we should be going up as long as we hold this. We've already hit the first target from this area, so it's not like it has to do anything else now. Could see some short-term consolidation that sits here. But your next move is definitely coming from either breaking this, holding this, or continuing beyond 639.60s. Which we do have a very important ceiling already highlighted from the week before, or 2 weeks before. A week or two before, I really don't even remember at this point. That long weekend got me fucked up. Oh, it's the halfway mixed in with the hold of the gap down from that day. I like this chart, honestly. It's like spaced out. Everything kind of makes sense without even really going back and reviewing every little thing. I'm pretty sure I remember this being the mix of like a level and a halfway point of a gap down or a gap up. So let me just swing this over to the right. That didn't even save. There we go. I should just do that now. That's a lot easier. So this is kind of what we're looking at. I hate to be Captain Obvious, but yeah. Between the levels, it feels like I'm being Captain Obvious, but it's just because of the preparation that we have up to this point. We understand that, or for people that have been with me the past 2 weeks, we're just a lot better prepared than probably most people, because we've been really just reading the context of each week into the next week. I really do think that gives you an edge. People really do like wipe the slate clean every single week, like the previous one didn't give you any help for the next week. It really does amaze me. People want to learn candlestick, patterns and strategies beyond that, but they don't want to think about, well, it's not just right then and there in that moment. There's gonna be a time where, let's say, a bullish candlestick or a bearish candlestick pops up, and maybe it's 2 days later that reaction comes. Maybe there's a short-term retest between that. Maybe you need to be watching the 50% of that fucking candlestick pattern. If it's under it, guess what? You should be higher probability bearish. If it's above it, guess what? You should be higher probability bullish above it. It's that simple. You're just not creating the plan or using the context or being prepared before the market starts moving. Don't be this guy that just jumps in like, oh, the market starts moving. Let me start making up info and think I can get it right. No, have that shit ready to go beforehand. It's not really fair on you or your trade that you're doing that. Thanks for the likes, guys. Over 20 likes already. It's not even... Oh, it is 9. I was going to say, it's not even been 30 minutes. Actually, it's been 36. Good morning, by the way, if you guys just got in here. Feel free to drop a like on the stream. Share the stream link around. If you guys have any questions or comments you want to throw out of here, or any chart you're looking at that I might not have talked about or pulled up here, feel free to talk about it. If you guys have a chart that you have posted in the Discord, feel free to also just remind me, hey, go check out my chart, go check out my trade. Just because you can't post charts on YouTube chat, which is so cringe, right? Easy to get tunnel vision on smaller time frames, especially when I have other stuff going on. Yeah, that too. Not just the news of the market, but maybe something's happening in real life. Which I hope your day is going good, Dr. J. It's good to see your name. But I agree, though. I think that first thing you said is super, super, super key. Easy to get tunnel vision. So I think it's really hard to remind ourselves, hey, zoom out. Or hey, relax. Or hey, look at less. Whatever the solution is. But it's always something super simple. It's never, complex. But yeah, that was a very cool point. And no music again. I have yet to see a single person complain since no music has been on the streams. So I'll just continue with that. It's whatever. Right now here, short term, just for anybody who's just not joining us, we're kind of looking to see what reaction we get from this area now that we've hit it. We just basically were telling ourselves, well, we should be bullish if we hold this area. If it breaks this, probably going to keep seeing more of that downside momentum that we saw already overnight. But we've gone up here, we've hit it, got a good bearish candle against it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not a bearish candle, if this is just a reaction from this, upward pressure going up so quick this morning. You probably had a lot of people just sitting on their hands while this went up because of that short-term downward pressure. People are like, oh, well, this is going to get rejected. And they're probably right. It probably will get rejected. But not everybody has the same levels as us. If we are going to get rejected, it's going to be from right here at 639.60s. So the more we sit under this and bump our heads, the more I do think we're going to head back down towards this highlighted area, which is just a halfway point of a gap up, and today's open highlighted. Nothing crazy. If we pop back over this, I wouldn't be shocked if we do try our best or see buyers try their best. I see us. I keep saying us like we're part of them, like we're part of the team. But it does look like they will try to bump their head against this if we see price action get over this. Or I go saying us again. So that's the short-term plan on SPY for anybody who's looking. Does anybody have any questions about that? I can move on to Triple Q, SPX, IWM. I don't care, but I just want to make sure we at least understand the basis of SPY for the morning. Oh, water is great. And here, because of what Dr. J, maybe I'll fix that. We'll do a chart that's on the daily, and we'll do a chart that's where's the default thing? There it is. Because I agree with that point very heavily. I think it's very easy to lose yourself on the smaller time frames. So we're going to look at both. We got the daily up with the same levels up as the right side chart. If you guys want extended hours off, let me know. I actually don't mind this. I thought I was going to hate it. Doesn't look that bad. A lot of information up on the screen. Energy is our only green sector. I am seeing a lot of sectors recover short term. Tech is still pretty down. 1.5%. That's not good. And we mentioned tech so quickly because it is the heaviest sector by a lot. So, of course, they're the most important. If you were heavy, maybe we'd find you important. American logic. Short-term little dip and rip right there. I'm curious of this area between here and here. Okay, it is. I was going to say, from the bullish area to where we kind of hit our heads against things, we are still holding an area that could give us that midterm bullish retest. This is my favorite type of retest because it's the most bullshit type. It's so hard to spot them. I think it sometimes you'll think that, oh, this is bearish, and you're jumping into a bullish retest. And in this case, it's not bullish or bearish. It's literally stuck between the ceiling and then that little short-term level I just showed you. So it's kind of just stuck between the two. I wouldn't really say it's a chosen outcome yet. It does feel like it wants to pull back down towards that lower highlighted area. But I think this would be a good time to flip through your weights to see that on SPY. But I'm just going to sit here on the daily and 5 minute for a little bit longer. How was everyone's weekend, by the way? You guys had a super long weekend. How was it? Did anybody do anything cool? Did anybody blow all their money on Friday, leading them to not be able to trade a whole lot on Tuesday? Which, totally cool. But yeah, how was everyone's weekend? What's up, Alst? Good to see you, man. How is it going? I was on call, had to work on the whole weekend, but nothing crazy. Damn. Well, I'm glad to hear it wasn't anything crazy, but that still sucks. But hey, it's Alexis. He makes best with his time. Got to watch North Carolina get smoked. I haven't watched college ball in a while, but I did see that one of the Texas teams got their shit pushed, so that was cool. It's going pretty good. Can't complain about much. My friend lost his web developer job, though. What the fuck? That sucks. How long was he in web development? I was going to say something else. I stopped myself. Discipline, everybody. Discipline. Remember, guys, we are looking to see, does this reject? If not, we see some good consolidation build up. Maybe if some of you are watching your weights outside of just this, and you see those working together short term, maybe we could see a pop over that. But short term, it looks like this is just a bullish reaction short term to lead to a better bearish reaction longer term. But we could be wrong. 639.60 could pop. We could see the pops into 642s, but I would need to see that white level break. I don't even think the midterm retest will sell me on this. 3 years. It took him 1 year to find the job, too. Damn. put in the time. Well, who knows? Maybe it's one of those things where one door closes, another opens. You never know. And in the moment, it never feels like that, though. It just feels like hell. But you never know. Wait a minute, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm supposed to give you depressing replies. I'm actually really vibing with this daily mixed with the 5-minute chart. I really am. I know we did it for a while before and at the very beginning of us trading, and we just keep coming back to it like a broken record or whatever. But I just can't, man. It looks really nice. I think Dr. J hit it right on the head too with why it feels that way. It's just because it's so easy to lose yourself and get tunnel vision. But having that daily up on at least one of your charts or one of your screens is definitely helpful. Just so you have that bigger picture in front of you at some point. So you're reminding yourself, oh, okay, we did just dip. I guess I could see why we shouldn't just have a huge hell candle again. Yeah, just using basic common sense. Which I feel like that's what a lot of the strategy is nowadays. It's just common sense, but it's not common sense. It's just, once you've learned the system, it becomes common sense. But I wouldn't say that's how it is in the beginning. I wish I could say that. What am I hitting, dude? I think I'm on her toy. I am running into something because I keep hearing a squeak every 5 seconds. Oh my god, I found it. It's literally stuck between the wheel. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I found a toy chipmunk that has a squeaker in it. Stuck in my chair. I was wondering what that was. Every time I'd scoot up or scoot back, I'd hear squeak, squeak. And I'm like, well, she's not even in here. So I thought I was having a schizophrenic moment. But no, it was just a toy. No identified schizophrenia yet. Pretty insane loss and retake here. Not that crazy, but the size of that wick is pretty impressive because it almost adds on to, well, Bears just did that, But now you got the Bulls doing it. I'll zoom in a little bit on that because it is a little bit harder to see. All I have to say, though, is use your context. We have a bearish candle, red candle, indecisive candle. We don't know yet. We're still watching. Not bad short term, but it's just we have a lot of weakening things showing up. I'm not even trying to hate on the chart, but we'll see. In short term, if anybody is actually trying to trade this right here, right now, I guess I could speak to those people too. You need to draw that fib and you need to be on the 1 minute. Because whatever is holding or breaking this is where you're scalping from. So I guess I'll switch to that now for those people. Anybody trying to actively trade this is your level of control. Whoever holds that holds direction short term. I wish that lasted all day. I wish I could do that. This is a more long, for the day kind of area. Whereas this one's just well, I drew that for this move. That's not for all day. Whereas this one can be good information all day. I hope that makes sense as well. It is a clusterfuck of levels, but it makes a very good sense of direction. What is everyone's week looking like? We got a pretty crazy week of work, or you guys got a pretty light week? It's a weird week starting on a Tuesday. Be sure to as well to check out the Discord if you guys are in there. I posted info for the Levels channel. I posted the updates for the daily update. I don't know why it's called daily when it's the week. And then we have, of course, the trade floor. So if you guys missed any of the updates, definitely check those out. If you need anything repeated, let me know. Right now we're watching a potential liquidity grab hold at 638.82. We have a liquidity grab into a higher low with the break and retake into the higher low right there. We'll see if they can continue from that, but from what we saw in the 5-minute, it wasn't looking too shabby. But that is the fact. 638.82 is the level for short-term direction as of right here, right now. If you're someone watching this 1 minute, might not be a bad idea to have that 5-minute up as well. Common sense isn't common. That is a good saying. I was more or less meaning like common sense to anybody who knows the system, because I don't mean to be like, hey, you're stupid. Like, I don't mean to like sound like that to someone who doesn't understand anything we're looking at. I totally get that. You know, it's like first time seeing it. But for anybody here who's seen this for the 100th time, like, I'm talking to you. These are the new arrows for the day. That doesn't look too bad, actually, on that right side chart. It looks wild in that left side daily chart. I guess we could change this to the 5-minute for a little bit. Or 15 even. I've really been enjoying that 15-minute rule that React gives off. I love that. My kid's first day of kindergarten and first time riding the bus alone. Emotionally, I don't think I can trade yet. Oh, dude, that's got to be crazy for you. I'm not even going to lie. Is it really school time already? And the part of me inside was just like, yes. Kindergarten, though, that's actually kind of big. Kindergarten's a big deal. And their first time riding the bus alone. That's kind of a vibe. Hey, kids who ride the bus make friends. Kids who ride the bus learn lessons. That's all I gotta say. I think common sense is learned a lot faster when kids ride the bus. I swear, though, if there's a bully on that bus... Well, congrats, Dr. J. I'm happy for you. I hope they have a great day. It should be fine. I wouldn't be worried about it. It's funny, too, because you're probably the one who's going to be freaking out more than they are. They'll probably have the initial reaction of, oh, fuck, what's going on? But then once they get into it, that kid's going to be having the time of its life. Making friends left and right. Going to school again. You got to remember, kindergarten's a lot more fun than anything you or me are going to do. So, I bet it's not going to be that bad. It's probably going to be amazing. Dude, this 5-minute is ugly. I'm going to grab a 638 put, same day at 110. Just going to get one. You hope so? Oh, I know so, dude. I know they're going to have a great time. And I feel like it is natural for you to be the one freaking out more than the kid. I remember the first time, well, it was when we moved and I started riding the bus in junior high. I was so freaking nervous. But then I made friends with like 20 different people across like 3 weeks. And it was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it also kind of a vibe because they're all in your neighborhood. They're all in your area. So it's like you can hang out with them anytime you want. We do have a break to the downside after what we were looking like we were trying to hold. That actually wasn't a bad look here on the... Let me get my cursor. That wasn't a bad look here on the 1 minute right here. That wasn't even honestly that bad, but this pullback definitely ruined that. And that's kind of what initiated me to like that, because we have so many good bullish looks here that are failing. It's like a repeated conversation. We'll see, though. If we end up getting a break over 638.80s, I'll probably cut that. If not, I'll be taking profits into probably the midpoint of this green candle here, or seeing the pace pick up and take it at 637.50. But stop loss definitely hard set at 638.80s, or maybe even just 639 flat if you want. But 638.82 is the exact level I'm looking at for directional control. And yeah, we're up $15. Whoop-de-doo. Not bad risk reward, though. I think the only thing that sucks for anybody like me trying to short this right now is the fact that we did literally gap down already. This doesn't have to go down anymore. So, that's why I need to find a good hard stop spot. We were on like an 8 or 9 win streak in here, and then we lost it, I think, one of the early days last week. I think it was like Tuesday last week we lost like our 9th or 10th trade. So we were like 7 for 7, 8 for 8, something like that, and then we lost. How dare I? Is anybody actively trading anything in the stream or need me to look at anything that isn't SPY? Of course, I know I've been looking at SPY and SPX pretty much most of the stream, but if you guys have anything else, let me know. I keep sitting here going, like, in my head, I'm like, man, today's Monday. Oh, start of the week. But it's literally already Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. When does school for, like, the older kids start? Or is it already started? Dr. J, if you know. Or if anybody in here knows. Oh, and we'll see if the stop loss hits. Waiting for that candle. Holy fuck. Where am I? All public school started today. Oh, all of it started today. Okay. All right, I am out of that. We'll see if we get into another one or not, but definitely taking the cut on that. We entered at 1.10 point, 1.10 on 638 strikes. I had to close that for 92. So loss of 18. What's the math on that? I don't know why I keep trying to do that. I have a calculator literally on the app. %. I'm actually not... Okay, that's actually a lot better than I thought it was. 16%? That's not bad at all. I was really thinking that was going to be like 28, closer to 30%. I don't know why my brain thought that. Depends on what part of the country you are. Oh, that's true too. Here in Cali, school started 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay. That is true too. I forgot about that. But yeah, just for anybody's info, we did just take a quick loss. We entered kind of in the middle of this candle still trading. It was before it dumped more. Good chance of it still sitting there, but it retook, so I'm not going to sit here and pedal with it. Here in Cali, school. I already read that. Schools in Georgia started beginning of August. All right, so it looks like school is either already started or is about to start for everybody in the United States. All right. Dude, the middle of the day is about to be so much more quiet again. Did anybody take that trade with me, or were you all just observing? Which, again, I don't recommend. Like, hey, follow me on everything I say. Like, I'm not. Please don't. Dear God, don't. I can't stand when people do that. I would have rather someone have been like, I also caught that for the same reasons you did, rather than, well, you said it, so I got it. You know, we're not cavemen in here. Everybody can think for themselves. I guess I'll go post my loss in the Discord real quick. You cut as well. Okay, good. Was light because of positioning on the chart. That same here. I did that for the exact same reason. I was like, man, I really want to enter like 5 contracts here. But then there was like Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder, and he was like, well, we did already gap down, so I don't know if you should be getting heavy on shorts yet. Like, if you're going to take a short, be light on it. And I'm kind of glad I did. Jiminy Cricket was right. Because now it looks like dip buyers are trying to take over what was a liquidity grab for upside. You and me were in the middle of everything. That's sometimes, too, why I don't like the 1 minute. But for that exact instance, I did like it because it could have. That was the retest spot. It was either holding or breaking there. So I'm actually okay with that. And then the 16%, like, dude, I thought it was more than that in my head. I don't know why. But I will take that on the chin. And let's move this one back to the daily because I was kind of enjoying that. And we'll remove this, but we know what we have on our screen on that smaller time frame. So let me zoom in here on this one. It was a good L made sound. Okay, I was just asking. I'm glad you guys were also open with your loss. It wasn't like a big punch to the face or anything, but it was still a hit. I will see here now that we've seen that, it's cool too, because I like to also bring this up. No, it's not good to double dip, but I do like to do this in these instances. If it's like a midterm retest kind of thing, you know, you could actually be looking. Now, I probably won't do it for today because of the scenario we have on the overall macro context of the gap down and all that. But this is a normal day. This would actually be looking really, really good for calls now that we did lose on those shorts because it's retaking the area that we said we would be bearish if it broke and rejected that, right? So if it's retaking it, just like my conversation earlier, if we're bullish here and it loses this, we become bearish. If it's bearish and we control it, what does that mean? Bulls are here. So I also like to kind of keep that in the back of my head. Not to like fake yourself out, but it is a good thing to think about because it's just like, if I'm so bullish here and it broke this, well, then I should probably start shorting it, you know? And we might have been right. This might still reject and go down under this. It just might not have been in a timely manner. Right? We might not have waited long enough because of how we opened. We probably need more consolidation or more time on the chart, more context before seeing those larger moves occur in a more single directional manner. Which, as a scalper, a lot of us love. Because you don't need to catch a fat ass move, you just need to catch a single directional move. I don't know why I put a check on my own review. Dividends in the chat. He said Nvidia was making a higher low. That was at 9:13, so 22 minutes ago. He was the one looking at Triple Q and XLK together. That's a very good update, actually. I think another good thing too, and I see not a lot just of people in my chat doing this, but just in general. I mean, I do this too. But you also, once you've come up with your areas of like, okay, this is where I'm bullish from, this is where I'm bearish from, this is what I expect to do if this happened, like setting your conditional thinking, your context in front of you. Once you've gotten past all that, I think something that's really bad is switching back and forth, you know? Bullish here. Oh, it just dropped. Bearish here. Oh, dropped again. Bearish here. Oh, bullish. Oh, bullish. So if I just took a loss on a quick scalp, now in my context, it's not that bad. I could take another trade, but for maturity's sake, you know, if I just did this here, should I already be taking another one? No. Let me stomach what just happened so I can remember it for the next time. If it jumps from here to here and I miss it, so what? You have lunchtime and the last 2 hours of the day to take advantage of another trade. You should still sit there, though, and stomach the trade you just took. Understand the trend change. Don't just sit there and constantly be flipping directions every 5 seconds. Well, it's bullish if it does this. It's bear if it does that. Like, it's good to understand where on the chart you are more bullish and bearish from. But you shouldn't be constantly switching. Oh, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, 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 bearish. Like, it's good to remind yourself where on the chart you're bearish and bullish from, like here and here. But you shouldn't be looking at this and going, well, that's a seller reaction. Oh, bullish reaction. Oh, seller reaction. Oh, bullish reaction. Like, you're just going to be fucking yourself over because you're constantly changing up what's on the screen. So just more or less put more emphasis on the impactful areas that you're looking at, like this or this. Not on this and this. Like, these are good add-ons. Don't get me wrong. You could definitely, you know, remember that this is bearish to see, but I'm just saying you shouldn't be 100% focused on that. Be more focused on those areas that you're bullish or bearish from, not what color of the candle is it in front of you, you know? I think most people in here understand that. I just like to reiterate it because it can be easy to forget. Plus, I'm up here sitting explaining all this stuff over and over and over again, so it could definitely sound like I'm also doing that. So I just wanted to make sure we understand that. I really am serious about that. You really shouldn't be taking like more than one trade per part of the day kind of thing. Like if we have 3 parts of the day, you shouldn't have any more than 3 trades, and you shouldn't have any more than 1 trade per part of those days. Like we have the first part of the day, the lunchtime part of the day, the power hour, last 2 hours. That's gonna be your little sessions, I guess you could set up. And mental trade as much as possible. You don't need to have the quotes in front of you, but definitely sit here in front of you and kind of pick out a part of the chart. Okay, I'm going to be bullish from here, bearish from here. And if any price action occurs around there that you like, jump in on it. You know, in your head, of course. But jump in on it. Okay, this is where I think it's going to hit. I'm going to target that. If I'm wrong, this is where I'm going to stop out. And do that beforehand. Do a bunch of fun little fake trades in your head. And don't go looking at quotes. I don't want to hear somebody going, oh, I took a mental trade. I made 600%. Okay. It does absolutely nothing. You're just validating your feelings at that point. When in reality, you should be validating your reasoning. Why do I like this here? Why do I like that there? Why am I bearish here? Why am I bullish here? Don't forget to drop a like on the stream, guys. Sorry for really, I mean, I'm not sorry, but we're going to keep ranting. But definitely drop a like on the stream. Share the stream link around if you haven't already. If you guys have anything else to add on to anything I've said, or you want to talk about something else, or look at a different chart, let me know. Right now, we just have SPY up on the daily and the 5-minute. And good updates so far from the few of you here in chat who are typing. I don't know how we're getting all those people in chat, honestly. Somebody's spamming shit. It's getting annoying. All I can do about it is just ban the ones that get caught. I can't really do anything. I can't preemptively ban people. That would be weird. Not illegal, but it would feel illegal. It's one of those, you know, it doesn't feel right, probably shouldn't do it kind of things. You know something, Carter? And I'm mainly talking to you because you were one of the people who joined the trade. But something I've been thinking about with these shorts I've been taking or longs I've been taking is finding a second parameter instead of just jumping in on the first. Like with that cut we did. We didn't have to be a part of that first breaking down of the midterm retest. We could have been waiting for a second reaction. So I think on those kinds of setups, I'm going to start doing that. Like if it's a setup that I feel like I could definitely wait on, I think I will just take the ladder. I will just wait, and I will find that second reaction and take that with the same risk most of the time, more than not. Because here you could see it'd be the same exact trade basically. And I thought about that the last time that happened too, because I was like, you know what, that would probably make more sense. Because why would you take the first thing that pops up after that first bullish reaction? It makes sense that it's going to be slow. Not saying that this is like correct yet. I'm just saying, based on what we've seen, that is definitely what I should have done. If it wasn't a same day too, we could have set a looser stop. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep taking those scalps like that. I don't know why I would even bother changing that. Yo, what's up, Matty Ice? Good to see you, dude. Agreed, especially when you find it on the 5 minute, seeing that more and more. That, yeah, that especially, because the 5 minute feels like a little, I mean, it is slower, but it more in the sense of like how you're gathering your information, it's slower. In this case, I am on the 5, but when I was trading, I was 100% on the 1 minute. Which I still prefer that, honestly. I like that 1 minute mixed in with a different time frame. Like if you're just watching that on its own, it's kind of eh. But mixed together with others, or maybe you're watching weights, it definitely feels like you're a little bit better prepared. And it did dip. We did get the dip. We'll see if it continues down to the top of that lower highlighted area. That would be higher probability where it should go. If it holds this recent low like it is now. Daily candles all out of whack too. Can't even mention it yet. Which I hope it does look like a candle like this or this today at the end of it. I hope we do get a candle that just has so much indecision the next day isn't 100% obvious, because that will probably create really good volume tomorrow. I always find the day after these days to be just crazy, but it could be the following day as well. But as long as we know this week should have some volume in store after this kind of day, then maybe we get some really, really good trading this week. Because I won't lie, this trading isn't bad. This is already not bad. And that's on this kind of daily candle after a large gap down. So I'm really not even mad about this. I like this. OB on the 15. Good call out. It is an OB. Good call out. It is. Completely destroys that previous candle. Swallowed it whole. My dog goes to the vet today. Gotta clip her nails. And we have to schedule a date to get her fixed. How are the updates so far? I know we did a live trade together. We took a cut on the short scalp. But outside of that, like, how are the updates? I hope they're all right enough. I would like to catch a couple trades with you guys this week, though. I did post a couple swings over the past couple weeks in chat. I don't know how many people are even paying attention to that. I don't really know. But just keep your eyelids open for that as well. There have been a couple swings posted. Oh, this is a different dog, Oust. This is the puppy that I got. Faith, though, is pretty old. She's probably like... She's like grandparent age for a dog. She's pretty old. Been great. Updates have been great. Good. I'm just making sure I'm speaking English. Because I know sometimes I can just start ranting and I don't make a damn lick of sense. I believe it's recommended to wait 1 or 2... Yeah, we have been. Great updates, great example of respecting a stop. Appreciate that. Yeah, because I think we could look back at this and be like, dude, why'd you cut that? You were right. And the macro side of things, if I was just on the 5-minute, I probably would have set a lot looser of a stop loss, but it would have been really hard to hold after a candle like this appears when I just covered why it could bounce if it holds this. So that was one thing that kind of stopped me, but I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. We lost 16%. Though I would like to know, the evil part of me is like, what is that contract at now? Okay, so we'd be up about... What's 40 over 110? That's actually not that crazy. Watch, it's going to be like 30% or something. 4,000 divided by 110 at 36%. 36 and then 36 on repeat. So actually would have been a pretty nice win. But target hit, we can at least discuss that. Oh, I didn't type the D in midterm. I was like, what's going on here? After asked if this dip that keeps on dipping or rock back all time high. It's a bias. That's actually pretty funny on trade floor. Ooh, check out the results and review channel, guys. Dividend Bull on his longs did a really good job on that. He did good on that initial pop. Now, does the blood continue under today's open, or do we get a short-term reaction here? Because as of right now, they do have the energy built up from all this consolidation that just broke to just keep going down to today's low. And then from there, we'll have to see something else. But so far, so good for sellers. I think it's also a good thing to remind ourselves, where the hell is that gap fib? We didn't even get to it. This is 50% of that gap down. So didn't even get to it. One second. All right, I'm here. What are you guys looking at? Are you guys just chilling? You guys watching Spy with me? What are you guys looking at? Do we need to look at anything else on any time frame? You guys let me know. I am just a tool at this point. Hey. Sorry, guys. My dog's fucking with me. She's so pretty now. She got her nails cut. She got her hair cut. My dog looking good today. And I think she's getting her surgery or whatever in October or September. I don't remember. They're doing it before she has a cycle is what I was told. Just chilling, recovering from the weekend. Yeah, how was the weekend? Nard and anybody else? How was y'all's weekend? Just sitting on my hands watching Spy. Bet. If you guys ever want to change up the pace or look at anything else or talk about anything, let me know. I'm always happy to talk about whatever. I guess I could pull up briefing real quick and see what the hell. What the heck, man? I already gave y'all that update from earlier, but we can always remind ourselves with this. I like to use this as like a backup. You'll probably see me check this before the markets open, at market open, a little after market open. I'll always just jump straight to this. And if there's anything new on this, of course. Which Trump is making an announcement today at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. 2 o'clock Eastern. So start a power hour. No, wait. No, that would not be start a power hour. That would be an hour before power hour. That would be the beginning of that third part of the day, though. Trump making an announcement. But I always like to check this site, check that out, read that, all that hoopla. And then I like to jump straight to the move in the market on this to see if there's any difference in that. Is there any added info from that? You know, we know everything's weak. That's like a no-brainer. You know, I think no, that's like a funny joke. Tariff uncertainty after federal appeals. Court ruled most of President Trump's global tariffs are illegal. Continued weakness in mega cap names. I really don't understand any of this to this extent now, because it's like, who can decide what tariffs are illegal and legal? Like, who is that? Who controls that? And then you say the feds. It's like, okay, but who says that our president? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Because it sounded like China and us were on the same page, and then it was like, oh, well, hold up, guys, this isn't actually all legal. It's like, what? So they're allowed to fuck us. Let me get this straight. They're allowed to fuck us, but we're not allowed to rebuttal any of that. Okay, bet. That's basically what our president is being told. Do you think Trump is going to sit down and take that? No. He's going to keep pushing for tariffs. He's going to keep pushing for better deals for the country. Is he going to be an asshole about it? Probably, but that is probably what he's going to do. I don't doubt it. So, in my opinion, using that information on the macro side of things, like for the daily time frame, we could say, this would probably bring us more of these dip rips that we keep seeing. You know, we keep saying like, oh, well, this is because of inflation data. Oh, this is because of the jobs data. You know, I just wasn't looking that great. Oh, this is because of semiconductor. Like, we're actually going to be getting more of them from old Trump for the tariffs again, which is just great. Huge air quotes. Early entry on Oxy puts back in the green. I want $46. Oh, you want 46 on the chart. I was like, you only want to make $46? That's a weird goal, but go off, King. I got you though. You're saying you got in a little early, but you like it. You want it to go down towards 46. To be under 46. Fair enough. That made more sense when I read it twice. I was like, why does Alexis only want to make $46? Like, that's such a weird target. That made more sense. Trying to make that daily not so hard to look at while you're forced to look at all these arrows on the screen. I guess I could delete these. Do you guys even fuck with the arrows? Do we not like the arrows? What are the vibes on the arrows? There's a part of me that likes them, but then there's a second part of me that doesn't like them because, like right here at the beginning of the day, yes, this is what I'm looking at. Like, I think this is the beginning of the day plan. But then we have this area pop up, but it's not for the rest of the day. Like, I'm not going to leave these arrows up all day long. Once I've had my move from this area, that's kind of me seeing it as, okay, it's done. I don't need it anymore, right? I can maybe keep this, but the arrows don't need to stay. These could maybe stay. So maybe I'll just do better maintenance of them. Just a straight degen all weekend. How about you, man? You had fun? I just chilled, honestly. I'll be honest. I literally just relaxed. I did nothing. I watched anime, chilled, barbecued. I like to cook meat. Early entry on Oxy Poots back in the... I already read that. They are good to see in the morning, and then they can go. Okay. That's kind of how I see it, too. Because, like, I don't want to, like, freak somebody out that's getting in here around, like, now. You know, they're like, oh, fuck, if it hits this again, I can short it. Like, you could, but I don't want to leave the arrows up to, like, freak people out. I do see... Maybe I'll just do it around the, like, key area of the day. Because there is, like, one key area of every day, almost. I would say this is that for today. Like, as long as you're above this, should go up. Breaking this can definitely, you know, impede that a little bit. And then, you know, losing it entirely is definitely not good for bulls. So maybe I'll just do that for, like, the key area. And then everything else really is just outside of that, is an outlier compared to this, right? If this is my main key area for direction, this is an outlier, this is an outlier, this is an outlier. All of these are outliers down here. That one thing I found. But it changes, right? Tomorrow, I might be talking about that up here. I might be saying, this is the key area. This is an outlier. This is an outlier. This is an outlier. Like, you know, it might change. So I just need, we all need to understand that that is what's happening. It's not me trying to scam people on arrows. Maybe I just don't delete them in time, but generally maybe I should just start focusing on just the key area, which I do normally do that, but there are times when you see me do it during the live stream. But maybe I'll just stop doing that, because I don't want to give anybody misinformation based on this. Because like right here when we were shorting, it's not easy to be like, all right guys, we got to cut, because I know that it could still go down. But there's also that part of it that's like, well, that could have been really wrong and we could have all lost a lot of money. So it's just good to understand how far are we from the important area of the day, and then also using context of previous day, like today. Today we gapped down pretty big, so that's pretty notable. That means direction is down on the day already from the get-go. So more trades from us probably should be going to the downside, but that doesn't mean just start shorting every single red candle. If that was the case, we would have been these assholes in the first 5 minutes of the day, and we would have lost big time. We would have been liquidity, but we waited for a reaction. Could have waited longer, but we waited for a reaction. That right there is trading. Just going for first red candle break area, that's caveman thinking. So we're not going to do that. Well, barbecue? We did, what the hell's that in the hallway? We did burgers, and then we did steak. And then and then we made sausages. We did a lot, honestly. We made a lot on the pit. We've been addicted to the pit lately. It just tastes better. Some smoky chili. Why does that sound so fire? Ancho chili, added bacon. Hold up, bro. I gotta look this up. What is smoky chili? That sounds fire. To impart a deep smoky flavor using a smoker, adding smoked ingredients, or using a liquid smoke substitute. The following recipe combines ground meal. Okay, do you have a smoker? Or did you do one of these other 2 ways? Dude, that's fire. Honestly, caps off to you, Alexis. That's awesome. Any added bacon, dude. I love you, dude. I love you. I heard the funniest thing the other day. I was watching like a stream on something else, but I heard the funniest joke. I just wanted to basically share that I didn't create this joke. This is definitely not original thinking from me. But it was really funny because he's like, there's 3 types of people. There's people who don't like bacon, and he's like, and maybe they just don't like it because they're idiots or they can't have it, which fair enough. If you can't have it, you're just being smart. You shouldn't eat things you can't have. There's people who just will die if they eat it, so fair enough. Caps off to them. Can't hate. There's people who eat bacon as like a dish. Like it's like, okay, I'll have bacon with my breakfast. And then this is where it got kind of funny. He's like, and then there's those big brain, high IQ people who are just so deeper into the culture of bacon that they don't just eat it as a main dish, but they use it as a topping. And I was like, holy fuck. That is so smart. So he's like, there are 3 people when it comes to bacon. And those are the 3 different people. There's people who don't like it, can't have it. And then there's people who like it. And then there's people who love it. It's not just a main dish. It's a topping as well. Yo, what's up, Fipo? Good to see you, dude. We were just talking about bacon. Being American, got to talk about bacon every now and then. It's just part of it. We do be chunky. Made it on a... Wait, what? Made it on a regular's cast iron pot. Oh, okay. Bacon on spaghetti carbonara. Oh my god, that sounds fire. Y'all got me like actually looking up at this stuff to see it, and then I could like get hungry for it and be like, all right, I want that. That actually sounds fire. We were just breaking down the 3 different types of people based on bacon. People who use it as toppings are generally just ahead of everyone else. In lieu of all this bacon talk, guys, we are breaking under the top of that highlighted area under today's open. Headed towards the lows of today. Which, fair enough, we are kind of in a downtrend since breaking this area back again. The midterm retest spot, making it back down to where key direction is giving us. Definitely to the downside, though, so far. We did have a little bit of resurgence here by buyers, and that wasn't a bad look, but anybody in my chat knows that this didn't even get past the halfway point of the gap down. So there was at no point in this chart that you should have been, bullish to a point where you're saying, I'm going to hold calls all day to lunchtime or something. No, not like that. Which, just to look at that chart again, because it is kind of nice to remind ourselves, the halfway point is way the F up here. So, yeah, it was nice being above today's open, but we didn't even get to that level. That's insane. Pretty significant start to the downside is what we're saying. And then this is just a more detailed chart, really. Same info, though. Damn, AMD is 8%. Low is 8%. Yeah, we had some big boys down today. Holy. They hit the 156s? My AMD chart will be pretty accurate with levels, too, because I do chart this one. I'm pretty biased on AMD. I just love charting it. I like AMD or NVIDIA more, but I like both companies. I really like semiconductors. The semiconductor sector is one of my favorites. That TSM news is honestly kind of crazy. You can see NVIDIA here. Not having a good time. How is... Can you even see TSM on this? Yeah, you can. It's funny because they're like all the exact same chart, except this one had a bigger start. This one didn't. And I think NVIDIA did even better. No, they didn't. They're about the same as TSM. Today's a big cheat sheet, though. With all these different, like here on NVIDIA, with all these different gap downs, it is so easy to go from that previous day close to your today's open and just focus on, well, these outer levels, of course, but direction from this area. That's really, really, really big. Like I say, I have such a detailed chart here on AMD, but I could totally delete this. 1 second, guys. Uno segundo. Okay, that didn't zoom how I wanted it. There we go. Previous day close to today's open. And just use these areas for short-term direction. Actually, AMD's not that far off of the 50% compared to NVIDIA. NVIDIA went up, hit it, died. AMD hung out. And then TSM, just for outer reference. Previous day close, bottom of that meat of the red candle to today's open. And again, you got to remember these are only useful when you get a gap that is of decent size. It doesn't have to be super, super huge, but I always find it to be nice when it's at least like a 0.5 to 1% gap. Anything more than that, even better. Yeah. Back to SPY. Dude, I hate when it does that. God, that's like the chart that I abuse when we cover like 50 things, and then I just, ugh. I think I'm glad to have deleted that. I would say macro-wise, the most important areas we could be watching, I'll put this back on the 5-minute for a second. The most important things we could be looking at macro-wise for the daily time frame. I'm going to go from this day's previous... I was looking at that wrong for a second. From this day's previous day close, so right here, to this day's open, we're just marking that gap up. Just looks a little weird because it's a weird direction. 636.66. So I was right earlier. How did I get that wrong earlier? Did I draw that wrong? No. How did I get 61? How did I draw that wrong? Alright, we'll just forget that I did that. It's only 6 or 5 cents, but Jesus. You think we could get that much right? So we're kind of focused on like these 3 levels here. But in reality, it's that one is more important. Really, whatever 50% of that candle is pretty important. 641.88. 641.88. Delete that. We can mark all-time high just because, you know, it's just fun to have all-time high marked. I like to leave it as a dotted line because it just makes the most sense. And then I can't draw it yet, but I'll show you an example of what we can draw in the future. But we have this backwards move here from low to high. This is basically where we fell back from, recovered from. So in the future, we don't need those levels. These levels up here could be used as like forward targets for all-time highs. Now we might be able to do that again, but we need to see where the low of this move is going to be. So if this was the low, I'm not saying it is, that's how this would look now. You'd have these levels. Now you get pretty close to the levels we already have set. So I don't think it'll be too crazy, but if we do go lower, that could change that. That could make that a lot different for our targets. Our targets will go from like this. They'll go from like this to actually having areas to go to. So then we'll have these marked like this in the future. So the more dips and dips that get bought, the better. So if we continue holding these lows right here, that would be nice. Because that would allow us to do this. Allow us to have these areas way up here. So it's kind of what I'm looking forward to, but I'll see if we get that or not. Of course, you guys will see too. And if you guys are just drawing emerging candles, you don't really need to change much, but I would definitely add the halfway point of this if you are just doing emerging candles. Because I know there's still some people in my chat who like to just do the classic style of things, which is totally fine. Not saying you can't do that. But you do need to be adding your gap information, especially on significant gaps. I'd say this is one. I would say this is a second. This was basically a third, but we just don't need it because we kept going down. But that level is going to be pretty important as well. It's really like up here. So that's what our macro looks like right now. Our bigger time frame based on. Did I already draw this one? No, I didn't. 641.28. So this is what your bigger time frame should look like, or this is what the directions at least look like. All right, that should be it. There. Now we can fuck with this one all we want without it messing up this one, because that was kind of getting on my nerves. And the reason, if anybody's going to ask for the halfway point of this candle here, is because it is important. It kind of broke the trend. So it's very important. Also, the size of it, can't ignore that. So the halfway point marked also lines up with the halfway point of this gap down from today, from over the weekend. So just highlight that. Let's see what that looks like on the smaller. Ooh, it's kind of pretty. I had some American Airlines monthly calls, and they are getting cooked. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it looks like most of the market got cooked, but yeah, that sucks. I'm not going to sit here and take that away from you. MCore should be up now. TSMC, Samsung, and SK should drop today because there's a new routers. Oh! Do you have the link to that, or is it not out yet? On Friday open, I sold 30% of my shares and will be buying sometime soon. Just sitting on my hands right now. Thought because I'm not confident where it'll bounce. Oh, on like your overall portfolio? Fair enough. 30% is not bad either because you can use that to dollar cost average back into anything. Plus, now you can give yourself some free time to just kind of ignore the market short term if you're indecisive. Which I don't blame you. If you zoom out here, like on this left side here, it is still in an uptrend, and it's very, very... honestly, it's pretty beautiful, I won't lie. But we don't know if this is going to hold short term, right? We could be selling off till the end of the year, and then when that news comes out December 31st, that could be our bounce. We could also start bouncing at any time the interest rate news pops up. Any surprises there could change things. So we have like two different fields to watch now because of this, like all this crazy high volatility news coming out. In my opinion, we probably will keep going down a little bit short term, but I don't know if we test these lows or break these lows. Looking back on it too, we have a lot of consolidation that built up right here. Look where it dipped down and held. You know, it's just insane. So there's basically what I'm saying. There's a lot of impact down here. So if we do end up going lower, it's just still crazy to me in my head that we're still not even anywhere near 600. Right? If we go down to here, we're at 620. We're $30 from all-time high. Like, it just amazes me how much room below we have now created on the bigger time frames. So even if we were to dip and have these like couple ugly months or couple ugly weeks, like it really does have a lot of room below. I could even see us, if we do test this area, breaking this and doing that liquidity grab there, and then that being another source of, oh shit, this area is pretty strong. You know, that I could see that happening too, but who knows? I can't see the future, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend, but that is definitely interesting to look at now that we do have that context. But yeah, short term not looking too good because of news. Could change at any time. That's basically where we're sitting on that. Have you seen my link? Oh no, my bad. Let me look. Oh no, I can't see it. If you sent it on YouTube chat, I can't see it. But I think that's because YouTube sucks. Oh, thank you. I got it. U.S. revokes TSMC's fast track China export status controls Titan. Oh, yeah. This is like the news of the day. Also, the other one is tied to this as well. Where's it at? Long weekend removed frothy tech stocks and stretched government budgets. Global bonds staged a broad retreat. Gold briefly touched an all-time high. And then here it says U.S. pulls TSMC's waiver for China shipments of chip supplies. And that's what you sent me a better detailed brief on. Yeah, that's a pretty big day for this. Allow ads. Wow, Reuters, you are so shameless. The U.S. has revoked Taiwan semiconductor factory authorization to ship key equipment to its main China facility. The chip manufacturer said on Tuesday the change removes a fast-track export privilege known as validated end-user status, effective December 31st, meaning future shipments of U.S. origin chip-making tools to TSMC's Nanjing site, and I might be abusing that name, will require individual licenses. Oh boy. Yeah, I read this earlier, but this is definitely a lot more information on this. The U.S. has steadily tightened export controls to curb China's access to advanced semiconductors and chip-making tools, expanding licensing requirements and revoking waivers for some foreign-owned China chip facilities. VEU status lets approved China facilities receive specified U.S. origin tools and tech without applying for individual licenses. Losing this status means each shipment would now need a license, slowing deliveries and making capacity expansions or technology upgrades more difficult. The U.S. Department of Commerce did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. Similar waivers for Samsung, SK, Hynix, that is, and then China plants are set to lapse in about 4 months. Why did that look like a T? I thought that sounded weird. As Washington tightens controls even on older generation chip production. Yeah, that's a very, very big article there. That's pretty big. By the way, guys, we did not stop selling inside of that area. If anything, we rejected, and we're making more lows under this. So we'll look to see if a new low of day is made. That was a lot more detailed. That was a lot more fun to read. Yeah, SK Samsung. Yeah, you said that. And everyone who needs chips from it. Yeah, that's fucked. No, that is huge. Thank you for sending that. I didn't get to. I've been reading that news all day, but not to that extent. Like not to that detailed amount. It's just been like brief, quick summaries of everything. So that was a lot more fun to read. See, do we get NLOD guys? Do we get new low of day? I see the tech sector down 1.83%. Nvidia's down 3% right now. Apple down 2, Amazon down 2.5, Meta down 1.4. Google's down almost 3%. Even Webull. Webull's down 4.4%. It's only 60 cents, but damn. It's also only a $13 stock. I guess I should add some more information lower than that, huh? In case we fall. Maybe I should just add that information I was talking about. Though I am interested, how close is this? 50% of this low to this high to here. I gotta know. It's gotta be close. Okay, it's somewhat close. I had to know. $622. I feel like there's something I'm not seeing. Like, there's got to be something in between this. What am I not seeing? Should I just add that? This day closed here. This day opened here. Okay, maybe that could be the level. 623.69. That would be pretty interesting. It's crazy how it lines up with that fib extension up there. Yeah, fuck it, we'll add it. I don't know, though. I kind of just want to add the open to this day. I think I am just going to do that. Just because that is kind of where it initiates. Hey, we're trying to hold here. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I just wanted to have a more spaced out daily time frame chart that we can keep referring back to without changing. So now we could just leave all that. We don't have to add it. Let me post this. SPY daily. We can update when needed in future. Thank you, Fipo. I don't know what when I read that first sentence, I was like, "What is about to be said?" I appreciate that. Thank you. Fipo's a goat. Yo, when does playoffs start? Or did your team make playoffs? Literally no one but you and me is gonna know what I'm talking about. They start this week? Let's fucking go. Don't know when we play yet. Dude, I'm hyped. I'll be honest with you, I only watched the end of one of your games, and then I had to download and rewatch one of them. I don't even remember what team it was you played. But one of them I watched, you were just kind of like doing your roles, it was just average. And then one of them you did pretty good in. I was like, okay, holy fuck. It's fun watching that stuff because that's like on another level. That team play is on another level. Nah, dude, you're good. I like watching it. I pretty much watched every Brazen match though. I watched, I think 99% or 90% of them. Like I think I watched all but like one. So I'm kind of hyped to watch the playoffs. Freaking Flom's team got placed pretty insane too. I was like, holy! I didn't even think they were gonna make it, and I think they're making playoffs too. No way, he's going against Steel's team. Didn't they already play once? Now they're playing first and play. Oh, I didn't even see their bracket was set. I gotta go look now. No way. That fucking sucks. Maybe they can get their revenge because I think he lost to Steel's team. Let's see. Dude, you're not joking. It is already set. Oh my god, they do play first. That's crazy. Nah, Brazen's getting their revenge. Brazen's winning that. And then the other team I'm rooting for is Reactor 9 because it has Little Beer. Little Beer's a vibe. I don't really care for all these other teams though. I know a few of the players on different teams, but I don't really. Bro, no way. If Polo beats Steel and Ska's team, they go and they play Team Mythic next. I was just saying that. Oh my god. That's content. Bro, please. Please get their revenge, bro. They have such a crazy journey ahead of them. Please beat Steel's team. That is a crazy, crazy bracket. I also hope FlyQuest Red make it all the way through to playing Polo's team because I would love Polo to get revenge on FlyQuest Red as well. I hope they get the revenge tour on Steel. I hope they beat Flom's team, and then I hope they get the revenge tour on FlyQuest Red. Because FlyQuest Red, if you watch that game, that was one of the games where Polo's team just played sloppy. But they definitely were way better, dude. Like, they totally should have beat FlyQuest Red. And then I think it was right after that, or maybe a week or two after that, they went on like a 4 streak, and it was like, dude, they could have done it. They beat teams that were way better. That could be a sick freaking... I'm not even going to say anything to them either. I just want it to happen. I'm not going to mention it a single time. Outside of this. That would be sick. Alright, back to this, because I'm so off. I mean, not like this is moving that much anyway. Is anybody from the stock chat who's actually focused? Does anybody here have any questions or any comments? I was just posting the key levels for everybody in chat just now on Spy for the daily, because it is kind of nice to have a set daily time frame we can all sit here and watch. So I would definitely get this one on one of your screens or one of your sets if you can, on one of your drawing sets. Mine's lagged to death. You don't think they're going to beat... Oh, wait, yeah, I didn't even see who they're playing. Oh, yeah, what the hell? This team's stacked. What the heck? See, this is one of those teams I don't know anybody on it. Oh, wait. I know of Flow. But dude, that team's stacked. There's like 3 people from there that are like top 100 almost. Dude, this bracket is stacked. Money Crew as well. Well, I mean, we knew they were gonna make it, but damn, I can't wait. Wait, so when's this first match? Oh, it's today. Let's fucking go. Their first. Oh wait, no, unless they reschedule it, I guess. I don't know how playoffs work. I'm not in the loop. It is 10:30, guys, so we did just end the first session of the day. Does anybody need a reminder on that? I sometimes just say like vague time, so sometimes it's not exact, but it's just to kind of keep everybody focused on whatever's happening short term. But basically, each day has 3 parts. Every single day, each stock market session has 3 different parts to it. Now, these could be. It's been. I have recently found out that it does line up with other like times of markets opening and closing, like London session, China session, all that stuff. But that's not why we did that. That's just something I bumped into, and I'm like, oh, that lines up with that too. Thank you to Ace for sharing that with me. But between open, so let's say Central Standard Time, I'll just focus on my time zone, 8:30 to about 10:30. So for the first 2 hours of the day, that's like your first session of the day, right? And then and ignore the times that I don't mention. Those can just be thought of as like in between areas that don't have much volume. But basically between 11 my time, so 2.5 hours after open. I had to do quick mental math there for a second. So from about 11 to 1, that's like your next 2-hour session of the day, right? And then from 1 to 3, which remember 2 to 3 is power hour, the last hour of the day, we just combine the last 2 hours of the day. So you have basically 3 2-hour sessions, and then you have a 30-minute interval between 10:30 and 11 that we just don't really pay attention to. And you could maybe even add those to the other parts of the day if you really want to, if you're anal about it. But new low of day, by the way. New low of day on SPY. I am back to typing after losing my #1 chat spot. Gotta pump those numbers up. Isn't it per stream, though? Yeah, today you are number 3. Number 2 is Dr. J. Number 1 is Alexis. I don't even understand what I'm looking at when I read this either. I really have no idea. It's funny, too, because Purple Mango is here very first. And he only has 25 XP on that leaderboard. It's like, shouldn't he be a lot higher? Maybe not. I saw Papa Wright was here today, too. But yeah, I have no idea how this works. See, look. What? Look at this. Look how broken this is. Look. Right here, he says, yeah, he's number 3. One more message. And it seems like we rejected the 20 MA on the daily. But I don't know whatever that means. Now he's number 1? Huh? Bro literally just took number 1 after requesting it. Hold on, I'm going to Google this now. $635.50, by the way, guys. We were taking a nice little dip. I'm sure there's a level in between here. I was just too lazy to not find it, but basically what I was telling myself by doing that is that there's not a lot between here and here. So it actually could make a really big dip here. Another $3 dip would be insane. But for now, hold up. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Oh my god. Why did I do that? Why did I even touch the chart? Okay. Dude, there's no way the people at YouTube are real. There's just no way. So the reason this is out, the leaderboard, is to test engagement for live streams. My brother in Christ, if this leaderboard was set up correctly, oh my god. Oh my god. If this leaderboard was set up correctly, it would do that. It would bring engagement would be through the roof for any person who streams. But they did it in a way that makes no sense. What the fuck? Dude, do they not take any, like, time to just go to Twitch and be like, all right, what does Twitch do? Let's see what they do. Like, study their competition even just for 5 minutes? If they would do that, they would be like, oh my god, why don't we do this? Oh my god, you can gift people subs and not it be random every single time? Because, again, that's pretty insane. Also on YouTube, you have to literally make your account, open it up to where you can be gifted on YouTube, which is fucking crazy. Because who the hell would check that? But genuinely, like, put me in charge, YouTube. I don't even pay me anything. Please. I will do this for free. Let me do the leaderboard thing. Or fix your streams. Because it is crazy to me how it's still that bad. I actually thought it was like a legit system. But I looked it up and it really is to test for engagement during streams. This isn't even a set feature yet. This could be deleted tomorrow. Oh my god, YouTube. I was just bragging about them too a couple weeks ago. I was like, dude, my YouTube streams are fucking smoother now. They fucking fixed the bitrate crap. Nope. Then they pile this on. But yeah, no, so I think one big thing I would change would be the duration. So it has it set up to where each stream has a different leaderboard. That's not engaging at all, bro. Nobody cares about being number one for that stream, right? Nobody cares about that. Do you know what people want to grind for if they're watching someone that much? People genuinely want to be on a bigger leaderboard, right? If they're going to do a leaderboard, it needs to be over the course of the month, let's say, or a week. Or maybe you could do all of them for the day, the week, and the month. I don't know. But just doing for that stream only and not really specifying how much points people are making per thing they're doing is kind of mind-boggling to me. Because there is a breakdown you can click on. But when you read it, there isn't an actual breakdown on how many points per thing you're doing or it is, right? Let's say Fipo gifts 100 subs. Does he get any points from that? No, he probably gets the same amount of points as someone who's literally just typing hi. Which is fucking crazy. Like, if they're going to do a leaderboard system, they need to make it make sense, right? There's levels to this shit. It's not just... I don't know. That's crazy to me. Like, that doesn't give any grind to anybody. Nobody cares about that. Week would be better. Yeah, exactly. Like a week. Like anything. I think that would make so much more sense. And have it displayed at the top of each stream for that next week or the month or whatever. Like, hey, week 1, these were the top 2 dudes. Week 2 is the top... You don't have to do top 3 or top 4 like Twitch does. Just do top 2. It's actually crazy to me. But yeah, YouTube, please. 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 And add the dislike button back. That's crazy to me. I mean, it's back, but people can't see it unless they have the extension on. That's crazy to me. Which, by the way, I have the extension on. Because I'd like to see, like, what's up. YouTube says no. I know, it's crazy. And I said I would do it for free. No, don't even pay me. I just want this platform to be better because YouTube is huge in my opinion, but there's such a big curve between them and Twitch. Like it's amazing to me. Like on the streamer side of things, it's definitely 2 completely different platforms, but there's definitely a large chunk of each platform that's the exact same, and they're not even close at all. I don't know. If YouTube was just a little bit better on the streaming side of things, I think they would dominate. They already dominate in like every other field. Why even bother? I just don't get the half-assed releases is all I'm complaining about. Why release a cheap little bullshit leaderboard if you're going to do it at all, right? Just don't even do it. You're YouTube. You don't have to do those kinds of things. They're not some company that's trying to grow. Like, dude, they're freaking YouTube. It's Google. They're going to keep growing no matter what happens. I think that's why I want to see them succeed. Cause like, dude, how are y'all this big? Go and be a good houseman. I'm gonna go and cook. I think that's what that says. It's time to make some food for the wife. Nice. What are you making? What are you making? But good, man. I'll see you later, Tobias. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Shout out the Netherlands. I wonder when Google has to sell Chrome. I think what's crazy to me is not the Chrome aspect. It's the... What? Oh, I'm looking this up because I actually wanted to know. They can't... They didn't force them yet, but I had to see when were they expecting them to do that hearing again. August 2025. Oh, that was last month. Google would be forced to sell Chrome. The Perplexity has already made an unsolicited offer to buy the browser. Oh, wait, that's the news we saw about last week. Never mind, I do know about this. I'm sorry, but this is the one case of monopoly where I just can't agree with it. I don't want another thing. I want it to be Google Chrome forever. Am I alone on that? Is this the one monopoly that I'm cool with? Actually, hold up. I'll back that up. There was another one that I would have been cool with a long time ago when I was young and I got my first phone. I was on T-Mobile, and there was a moment in history where I think it was AT&T or Verizon, but a way better company could have bought T-Mobile, and all their towers would have been fucking amazing. Oh my god! And that it didn't happen because they got blocked because it would have been a monopoly, and fair enough. But I think that one and this one are the only two I'd be cool with. Like, I don't want to go to Firefox. I don't want Internet Explorer. I don't want whatever the hell else is out there. I want Google. I want Chrome because it saves everything. It's Google. Like, we all have multiple browsers on our computers. They're on your computer from the get-go. But what do we all go to anyway? Google. I'm not using that Microsoft browser. I'm not using that other bullshit. No. And if you guys use a custom browser, that's cool, but you probably started on Google too. Yeah, Edge. I can't even remember the damn name of it. It sucks. Edge. Yeah, Edge sucks. And that was the update to help them compete with Google Chrome. Edge sucks. Firefox is honestly only good for, like, streaming things to your friends on Discord that you couldn't otherwise stream to them because you're on some, like, public site or like that. But that's so, like, situational. Like, who the fuck uses Firefox? Yeah, I think that's the one monopoly I'm cool with, is Google just forever having Chrome. Because why? Why are we trying to overcomplicate that? Plus you have like AdSense connected to it. You have like all these other things that people run ads through. All that's going to get all messed up. Edge isn't bad anymore, but it won't get used. And there's no... Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just not going to... Even if it does get better now, like, it doesn't even matter anymore. I don't even know what the market share is for, like, browsers, but I bet it's pretty insanely one-sided. Like, I don't know the percentages, but it's got to be pretty one-sided for Google Chrome. And there's no app store. Damn. Zen is a nice browser, but not enough developed yet. And Brave is also kind of cool. I think I've heard of Brave, actually. But build on Chromium. I am on Chromium right now. You're on a lot more than Chromium. But I don't know. I really hope that doesn't actually happen. It does look like the DOJ is pushing for it, though. Why are they pushing so hard on Google Chrome, but they can't push harder on our taxes being fucked? Or stagflation. You know, the inflation that's no longer here, but is still in our prices of products. You know, that stagflation. The stagflation that companies are making profits on the average consumer. Why is that not being pressed? Why are we pressing Google Chrome but not stagflation? Genuinely, like, answer that question. It's crazy. You can't trust our system as far as you can throw it. I'm not trying to be one of those tinfoil hats, but, like, there are a lot more important things that could be combated right now. Maintaining the Ukrainian peace would be cool, too. I think that would be a huge plus for the world. Most of the open browsers that are out there are built on Chromium. Say thank you to Trump. Where is the idiot, by the way? Wait, which idiot? Pal? He's at... Wait, what time did I say he was talking? He talks at 1 my time, 2 Eastern Standard Time. That is in about 2 hours and 11 minutes. Wait. Yeah, that was right. 2 hours and 11 minutes. I was like, wait a minute. Was my math wrong? But yeah, he does talk today. He'll be speaking on... Actually, I don't know. It just says makes an announcement. It's probably connected as a response to the semiconductor drama. I'm assuming he has more to say. But I didn't look into it, so I genuinely don't know. And then tomorrow we have JOLTS, which is for job data. Job data is very important, guys. That could help or affect the inflation and how we lower interest rates. September 4th, we got employment, trade balance, jobless claims. This is all in the morning. Okay, so looks like Thursday is pretty full. Friday, relatively light, but it does start off with data coming out in the morning. So an hour before open on Friday, you have data. An hour before market tomorrow. On Thursday. And then tomorrow, you don't have much. You just have job openings and factory orders. And there's a couple Fed speakers, but only one of them is important, and they speak after lunchtime. SPY is actually at the lows of 635 here. We talked about the weakness that popped up here early on. Talked about the resurgence of that weakness. Very impressive dip today by sellers. Yeah, very nice move. I was thinking that too. Like, even if this wasn't as clean as it could have been, this was really clean. I think my favorite candle from that dip was this one, because it was already under the current day open, and then it did a nice little wick on top. That little leg on top, the shadow. Beautiful. And then you have like a single candle rejection here to kind of add on to it. No, it's very nice. It's a very nice dip. Oh, very good update by Letter Buck in the trade floor. He was looking for the gap fill from September 21st to 22nd. And he had called it out and it hit. AP news. Trump will announce a new HQ for Space Force. new HQ, guys. We're putting it on Pluto. I'd fucking lose it. But yeah, good review, Carter. And good updates by Dr. J in that Discord. I'm sorry I saw that late, but that was still nice. I put earbuds in. It didn't even play anything to listen to. I might be schizophrenic. He reverses the move back to where it was before Biden moved it. Oh my god. So is letting in millions from the border for free? Oh, so is letting in... Yeah, no, it is insane. I don't think anybody hates... I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people out there who are stupid, but, like, our presidents have been very, very on the fence. Like, I think Trump's trying his best. His first term, he was definitely way too aggressive. But the second term, he's being a little bit better about it. I think he's just got a lot more on his plate. And Biden definitely did not help. I don't care what side you support. Biden didn't help anybody. But it wasn't just Biden. Like, everyone makes it seem like this old man was actually making all those decisions. It's like, bro, there's a team of people with him. Some of them public, some of them I'm sure not. I'm not trying to be tinfoil hat with it. It's just the truth. We got left with shit, and now we got Trump trying to pick some of it up. What I told y'all before is I'm scared after Trump is done, though, because there isn't a person on today's planet that could name the next generation of presidents to come. There just isn't. Like, what even is to come? What's the next president? Who is that? I couldn't even tell you the top 3 guesses. I could tell you people I think would be good at it. There's a Democrat I like. There's a Republican that I like. But I don't think either of them are popular enough to even be anywhere near running for president. So I that's what I'm worried about. Think about the power that the Federal Reserve is about to have without someone like Trump over their shoulders. Like that's weird to think about too. Imagine them just pausing rates for another 4 years. Oh God. So I think that's what I'm most worried about. It's not really like our current situation. It's like it's the forward that we have. Because I think Trump's going to do fine, or as best as he can, as long as he isn't like that first term where he was just like overly aggressive for no reason. If he doesn't do that, he should be fine. But it's the next steps that we got that kind of worry me. Well, who's our next presidents? Like genuinely, you know, the past like 10, 12 years, you've been able to at least somewhat combat who's in the conversation. Right now, you genuinely can't do that. We're not in the Obama, Biden, Trump era anymore. The Clintons, you know, we're not in that era anymore. I hope not Hegseth and Vance, because I don't know who is more stupid. I don't think Vance can. I think Vance has too many haters. I know people on the right side that don't like Vance. Like, they support him for supporting Trump, but there's a lot of things they don't like about what he does. But I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. And I try to be as non-biased as possible, because I genuinely think there's really good things that Democrats try to do, and there's also really good things that Republicans try to do. But they also both have their fair share of what the fuck are y'all doing? You know, it's really 50-50, maybe even worse than that. And you could see how pissed off consumers are nowadays. Like, your average American is pissed off. They're like, what the hell are y'all doing? And do you know what's happening around the world right now, too? It's happening in our country, too. Like, there's so many people that don't even know about it, but there's so many just riots happening around the world right now. Millions and millions and millions of people. Like, people are not happy. The policies that have been passed over the past 8 to 10 years have not been received well. Regardless of who you support. Like, I'm not even downing blue or red. Like, it's just everywhere is fucked. I don't think the political landscape is healthy anywhere. What are you going to say, Switzerland? Like, or Sweden? See you later, Fipo. Good luck, bro. But yeah, I think that's what I'm most worried about. It's the future conversations of who's going to be in control. Who's our presidents, you know? And I really hope we're past this aggressive era. We don't need hard right or hard left. We need a mix. Like, I'm sorry, that's the only way that's going to work. Mixed policies are going to be the best. Dude, we have a chance of making it down to 633 today. That's actually a possibility. The retest and follow through has been pretty nice to the downside. Also, too, something else to think about, Carter, from our trade earlier. I think it'd be nicer to have a looser stop, knowing we're only in one contract. But that's after review Andy bullshit. Still, I am very happy with the direction, though. I am glad we got some movement today. You never know how that next day is going to be after a long weekend. I think it's really easy to be like, oh, it's going to be a boring day, but I don't know. It might just be that first part of the day that's just meh, and then the rest of the day might be amazing. Either way, it got eaten alive so fast, it really did. I think today was also a good reminder on just to only trade around key priority areas, like unless it's the 50% of the gap, which was like up here somewhere, or around this, or this area, I guess I should say as a whole, you really shouldn't even be trading it, because you should really only be focused on like key areas around that day. In today's case, halfway point of the gap down, CDO. Previous day halfway point, not really in the conversation at all today. Just because it's way the F up here. Yeah, and I hope that makes sense, because I know I could sometimes fumble too, like today. But it's good to think on things you can consistently fall back on instead of like, oh, I could have done this in this exact scenario. That's a reaction. You're now reacting. You're not falling back on a set outcome. You're falling back on a reaction, which is not an outcome that's set. That's still open-ended. So it's good to be able to fall back on consistency, not on reaction. What's up? What's everyone doing right now? You guys charting? You guys working? What's everyone doing right now? For the people that can type. I know we have our fair share of audio only kind of people in here. Damn, nice, Carter. I just saw what you said in the trade floor. Good shit, dude. Scared money don't make money. I am cooking, bro. Oh yeah, wait, what are you cooking? Walked all the way over, living in a big house now. Oh, look at him flexing. No, deserved though. You worked your ass off for it. Flex away. Working. Nice. Hopefully not a bad day of work so far. What's up with you guys though with shows or movies? Anybody watching anything? You guys watching anything cool or haven't really had time for it recently? Ready for NFL to start? Oh yeah, football does start. I haven't even had it on my mind, honestly. I went from a smallish apartment to a big house. It's strange. I lose the wife randomly in the house. You were like, you went from a place where you could always hear her breathing to a place where you don't even know if you could hear if she was talking. Shawarma? Shawarma? I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, these. I know what these are. These are like Middle Eastern tacos, right? Except these were made before tacos were probably made. Yeah, they were during the Ottoman Empire. That's insane. Nice, nice. Or burritos, I guess. With the Middle Eastern touch to it. And the main European meal based on our population. That's funny. Thank you, Ottoman Empire. Thank you for existing at one point. Well, I hope it's good. It looks honestly really good. Sounds really good. Are you doing chicken inside or are you doing beef, or what did you put inside? It looked like you could kind of do whatever meat you wanted. Or is there a traditional style? Dude, you're making me hungry now. I do want to check on the daily time frame for the two tickers I was looking at for short-term bounces. I want to see if they're still having a relatively weak day or a slow day. Coin is one of them, and it is, so that's a good sign. And Netflix was the other. Meta was kind of like a tertiary. This is still having a good, boring day. That's good. That's what I want to see. And Meta, it is still above that area. I don't know. I'm looking for bounces on all three of those. 720 on Meta is a key directional level for me. On Netflix, trying to find it. I guess I didn't give myself an exact area. I mean, I did, but I didn't really mark the levels. But it's really between like these lows and the open of that day. It needs to hold that, but I need to see something above that. So we're still waiting on that trigger. And then coin. I don't know why you're not higher up on my list. Am I not scrolled up or something? Oh, it's down there. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, potential buy spots. So I like this one too. Trigger spot would be it holding this area here, but just kind of waiting on all three of those. But yeah, Coin, Meta, Netflix. These are three that I like, and it's weird too because Meta and Netflix are in the same sector, if I remember that correctly. Google, Meta, Netflix. Yeah, that sounds right. Coin not being in either of those. But yeah, so those are three weird, unorthodox charts that I think actually could get bounces regardless of all this short-term crap. But also, on the other side of things, if failed, could lead, and maybe we don't enter it, maybe we see it not, maybe we see it fail in that instance or that example, could also be taken as a downside play. So I like all three of those too. Just because they either have, like in Coin's case, consolidation built up, or in Netflix or Meta's case, again, something that could be seen as a resistance once failed a little bit more. We're just not seeing that yet. Meta also a weird one because it's literally at 720, which that level is just insane. The 719, 720s is that halfway point of that huge move. So it's a huge deciding factor level in my opinion. But yeah, I like all three of those. So if anybody needs three other watches that might be in a high impact area, I really do believe Coin, Netflix, and Meta are three really, really good choices for that. Kind of sucks too because I believe all those chains are a little expensive. So if you're someone not with those bigger accounts, you're definitely probably avoiding those. But still fun to watch. I would still get your reps mentally. I also like AMD a lot, but I think I'm just biased because I just always like how AMD's levels look. I don't know how it is, but no matter how you chart AMD, you will always get like a clean, spaced out, just nice looking chart. I don't know what to make of it. I've never had any problem with AMD's charting. We've definitely talked our fair trash on AMD in the past, but its charting has never had that problem. They almost filled the gap today, too. pork to piss off the Ottoman. Oh, that's fucked up. Just kidding. We're doing chicken. That sounds fire. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. The picture I saw of that food first was with chicken, and it looked fire. I hope you enjoy. Thanks, by the way, guys, for all the likes on the stream. Super, super appreciating that. Appreciate that. Almost 30 is pretty wild for this stream. I think I'll do a couple more weeks at public streams, and then I'll probably revert back to doing just some member-only streams for a little bit. Because I feel like more people open up to me in those, because they're not so much open to criticism as much as they might be in here, where it's just open to the public. But it'd also be cool in some of those member streams getting some one-on-ones going live. Like, do them while we're watching the market maybe, or talking about whatever. Catching a trade or something. But I think that'd be cool to do. I talked about it in the past, but I think I really do want to execute it. If we do some member streams here after maybe a couple more weeks. I would say a little bit more into this month we can maybe start it, but not yet. But it'd be cool to bring some people into a call. Maybe do like a one-on-one while we watch the market or something like that. Or just answer questions live or something. It'd be fun, though. But I would like to save that kind of event, though, for like a member-only stream. Just to kind of keep it special. Because there's a lot of people who have invested into the group and invested into me specifically. So I always like to give that back. Even if it's just some stupid, let's trade together type stream. Which I guess every stream is like that. But I like to definitely emphasize it more in those. These are fun to do as well, trading together in these and just kind of going over stuff. But I feel more like I need to explain things in these streams. Like I feel like I owe that. But yeah, that'd be cool. I know a few people I could easily bring into this too, just because I have a few super active traders. I like that about my group too. Everyone's like to themselves at the same time. Like they don't reply to every little thing that gets said. It's so nice because that's just how it is when you grow up. Like not everything needs a reaction. So it's cool to have that kind of mentality in the group. Definitely here to help each other. Definitely not saying that. I think most people would go to war for each other in my chat. But also on the other thing is kind of just letting each other do our own thing. We had 150 clicks on today's stream. That's a lot for these streams. Specifically a lot to me too, because we really don't promote these that much. Like I just post it in Discord, post it on my Twitter or X or whatever you call it. And that's it. So I appreciate anybody in here who is sharing. I know there's a few of you that did. Look what Deuce posted on his Twitter. I'm gonna retweet that. Moved to Ohio for school, but forgot I had to actually do the school part. Bro just got TradingView open. Look at that. Man, he got a clean chart on his screen. My feed's just Counter-Strike and stocks. So targeting pre-market high and previous day high. Wait, what are you on? On SPY? Wait, no, you weren't trading SPY. What were you trading, Alexis? Oh, Oxy, that's right. My bad, bro. I'm fucking tripping. Had to flip bullish. I was bearish on Oxy. Okay. Oh, because the hold of the... Was it 46 or something? You had a level there that you told me about earlier that you said you were kind of using as direction. If you were under, you're going to probably be shorting. If you're above it, you're probably going to be longing. Or 63 or something like that. I don't remember the Oxy numbers. Being honest. I do remember you saying that, though. The fact that we made it down to 635 is a little impressive to me. I know the next big level there is down at 633, but the fact we made it down to anything under 636.66 is crazy to me. Because we've already gapped down that much. To break a new low, okay, that's big. But to lead through and follow through after a new low is insane. That's a lot of movement, a lot of... Like, do you know what it takes for us to do that? Like, people have to still think that we can go up for that to happen. Because they have to create that liquidity. So there's still people churning it while it was going down. People tried to buy dip too early. It's probably around here, to be honest. You probably saw a lot of people trying to buy dips, but there wasn't really a point in this where they held. Like, I haven't seen them try to hold since this candle, honestly. You could maybe say they're trying here with the indecision and the inside bar and going up from it, but I mean, that's really reaching right there. And you would more or less say it should go up because of how much it's dropped, not because of what the price action is telling you. You're more or less using your common sense for that one. But this right here, this was probably the last candle that could have been bullish, was way up here. If we reject here again, it will be the dip that keeps on dipping. Yeah, I mean, as long as we're already under the level that will keep us dipping. It's like way up here. The halfway point of that gap down is way up there. So that's already one big level that we're directionally under. The fact that we're under this area is kind of insane now. So, we got some pretty easy levels in front of us right now. It's just about making sure you're patient enough or you're following through on whatever trade you're trying to take. Don't be too biased. I think it's really easy to be biased in these levels in either direction. I think at any point when we go down, someone can say, well, we dropped a lot, I could buy this. And at any point, because we gap down, someone could say, well, I'm just going to short it because we should keep going down. Like, these are two very simple mindsets to have. But one can fuck you in the wrong time. So you got to be very careful. Not to be too biased in either direction. More or less setting up areas on the chart for yourself to trade from. Because it could be really easy to be biased. Especially when you're in those moments where it just feels like you have to go one direction. Where you're like, it has to. There's no way it wouldn't. You know, it's common sense. Those are the exact moments where those spikes happen. Because everybody's in that mindset where it has to keep going down. Spikes up. It has to keep going up. Spikes down. So, you never want to be 100% any of them. 47.50, it's all gravy. No, you're good. Thank you for re-saying it again. 47.50 is your directional level. Okay, bet. If we reject again here, it will be the dip that keeps on dipping. Oh. I don't know how I missed Alexa's message before that then. Fair enough, though. You're gonna go and eat, dude. Good luck, man. I hope it's good. Tell the wife chat said hi, shit like that. You know. Good luck, Tobias. And guys, we are kind of getting towards the end of stream. Do you guys have any questions or comments? This is one of the best times of the stream to ask. I mean, really any part of the stream is, but this is really good time to ask because, well, we're just chilling. So we can mess up a chart. We can do whatever. If you guys have any questions, though, definitely feel free to ask. Or just say whatever you're looking at. Does anybody need any updates on what we have in front of us here on SPY for the overall direction of market? We've gone over the macro and the micro multiple times now, but I will gladly repeat it if anybody needs it. It's not a good time to let it ride, and remember to use stops. Thank you, Tobias, for that advice. Shout out the Netherlands. Yeah, I know. This is definitely not a let it ride kind of moment right now. I got to get going too. Appreciate your time and the updates. So you too, Carter. I always appreciate you helping me going back and forth on some of these things. It's definitely nice. I think I'd go crazy if nobody conversated. So thank you. Today wasn't a bad stream though. And seriously, whoever's sharing my stream around, you're a real one. I know there's one or two of you doing it because I don't have any level of reach. So I do appreciate that. Whoever my unsung hero is. All right, well, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to end it there. I do appreciate everybody joining in, conversating, engaging as much as you could. I know some of you guys are busy. It is the beginning of the week, so fair enough. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's stream. We're going to do another stream tomorrow. I don't think there was anything from this stream to clip today, honestly. I know I had a bunch of different rants and conversations and stuff that we went over different things about, but it's not like I had anything new, so I don't think I'll clip anything from this one. But if you guys think anything or find anything, let me know. I'll clip it. But I'll see you guys later on. Have a great rest of your day. And if you have any other information you want to bring up to the chat or to anybody in the community, bring it into the Discord. It's free to type in the trade floor. It's not really free to be anywhere else, but it's a good place to conversate, engage, get to know people in here, talk to anybody that might be in the community. But I'll see you guys later on. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you later. Thank you, Alexis. You as well, dude.